Welcome, everybody, to the Adam King Show. This show, I can't even believe is happening with all the amount of obstacles that we've been through to get it up. But we are here. We are recording once again on Thursday, as promised, every Monday and Thursday, the Adam King Show. Joined with me is my one and only Rock Breath, and he's super excited that the Bills are playing on Saturday. I don't understand why football is not just on Sundays anymore, and Thursday night football, I'm not digging. I just got to say that out loud. Look, there is so much going on in the world, Rock. We published on Monday an amazing video on COVID with Dr. Margaret Aranda and Dr. Shannon Kroner, two amazing anti-vax activists. And then we followed up that video with a response to Nick Fuentes' interview with Alex Jones. I highly encourage everybody to watch this because we really walk through a lot of the criticisms that Nick says, and I think that it's a must-see for everybody in the Band.video.
It is, and it's only available on Band. So
we are not publishing that anywhere else.
No.
So on that being said, we got some really great guests coming up next week. We have Emily Wilson in a special episode off studio. So we will be out of the studio making some really cool material for you guys. And then followed by next week, we have Gordon Einstein. And yes, he is a distant Einstein. But this man, I don't even know where to begin. If you want to hear words from probably one of the most influential people in all of crypto, this is the episode you're going to want to see. That's going to be a one-on-one interview. Yeah.
Excellent.
Announcements are out of the way. Rock, let's get to some memes. Before we get into memes, I want everybody to know that sometimes I get really impassioned and I make a meme myself. So we're going to start off the memes with my meme of the week. I'm so proud of myself.
I got to see this.
Right.
I'm ready to laugh because I can't imagine.
I have a major announcement to make. I will be reading stories to children at the public library.
Oh, that's all right. That's pretty good, actually. But I don't know why you had to use my favorite person on the planet.
I'll tell you. He's mine too. Or he was mine. I'm getting sick of this. Major announcement. We're like facing the apocalypse right now, Rock. He says a major announcement. America needs a superhero. And we're like sitting here like, oh, yes. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? And then he's like, I'm making NFT Trumps. Dude, NFTs peaked 2 years ago. There's nothing new about NFTs. You are so behind. You are just proving how behind you are right now. And it's like when you want to speak, Mr. Trump, you do stuff like this. But then when we need you to speak on behalf of all of us, you are so afraid of the deep state and you're nowhere to be found. And I have to say this. I'm with you. I'm trying to get you to be president. I'm trying for your revenge tour. But DeSantis right now is going to war against mRNA vaccine manufacturers. And Rock, to me, that's a huge deal. That's just a huge deal. It's like the words versus the actions. And if you're hanging out,
it doesn't necessarily make him a president.
You know what? It doesn't. But I got to say, like, Trump's got to get his act together. This is what he looks like to me. He looks like a tranny at a freaking pedo show at the public library. Okay. So either get it or they are going to take over. And this is who Mrs. Trump is going to be. All right. Let's get to some other memes. Oh, but I wasn't the only one who made a meme about Donald Trump today. They had us in the first half, I'm not going to lie. By the way, Move Freedoms memes is a great follow for anybody who wants to laugh. I want to follow this up by Frederick Douglass. The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. Synchronicity 1111. It is time we rise against our oppressors in America. That's what I got to say.
It sure is.
And in the Christmas spirit, here's a Jesus post. Me, love, and light. Also me. I'm trying not to cuss because Band.video is very sensitive about cussing. So I'm just going to say F the system. Some more from our Christmas series. Merry Welkmas, everybody. And last week we gave a Christmas one, Rock, and you love this one. When your kids take a bunch of presents, boxes, wrap them up, leave them empty. When your kids act up, throw one of the gift boxes in the fireplace and they'll behave quickly. You thought that one was good. This is another good one for Christmas. Place a Santa hat on the corner of your TV, and every time someone wears it, you got a drink.
I love that.
I know you're going to do that.
I'm going home to do that.
I know you will. I know you will.
No, I don't drink, but I'll do it. I'll do something else.
All right, let's take a peek. This is our favorite queerdo to make fun of. Oh my God.
No.
Getting assaulted for stealing multiple women's luggage. Remembering jail is full of sexually frustrated men. This guy Namrock is brutal.
I know, and I saw one that's a little different than that the other day, Adam. It was pretty good. I'll bring that up next time for you.
This guy, though, he's just, I gotta say, if there was ever a government official that rubbed you the wrong way, this is the guy. And I can't believe he got to go down in quiet too. Like, you didn't even hear that he got fired.
That's got to be one of the best I've seen.
This is a real article that came out. People who skip their COVID vaccine are at higher risk of traffic accidents, according to a new study.
What?
I can't believe that people are even talking like this. This is so stupid. They're the stupidest people in the world.
I feel like I'm living in like the Twilight Zone, literally.
Now imagine a time and place beyond this world. I can't even do that guy's accent. It makes me stutter.
You're funny.
But we're living in a Twilight Zone. And even another Twilight Zone in the news. AOC's climate change documentary flops and brings in just $80 per theater during its opening weekend. Barely made enough money. They added up all the money that it brought in and divided it by all the amount of theaters that it was playing in, and every theater grossed $80. She gets
look at the
I think she spent like over $1 million on it too.
Yeah, just by looking at them on the cover, I would just take that and throw it in the trash. I mean,
I know.
Look who it is. It's AOC. What do you expect?
Well, $80 a head. That's all she's pulling in. That's how real her voice is. She's one of these Twitter all-stars who were absolutely nothing, but Twitter made into something. Gave her fake 1 million followers overnight to get her started.
Yep, exactly.
Don Jr. with the kill. Democrats be like, still better than Trump. Yeah.
That's good.
How to have fun as an adult.
It's one of my favorite things to do.
This is kind of a serious day. We're making serious memes here. I started to be free when I discovered the cage was made of thoughts. This one really got me going. Law of void there. Classical liberty licensing, when the government takes away your right to do something and then sells it back to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, these are for the meme section. We had a dating episode, so we'll drop this one because we did, and then we'll get to the dating episode. Choosing your wife is the most important financial decision you will ever make. We got 7 million for Miss Heard. Miss Kardashian, 200,000 a month. 36 billion. And Gates' wife, 76 billion. You got Bezos and Gates at the bottom. Anyway,
$76 billion in
that's how much he took from Billy Gates, the pedo.
Jeez. Yeah,
Billy Gates, the pedophile, man.
All right.
Well, we got an amazing guest. We're doing another dating episode so that we could post onto YouTube again because they suck and they only let us post things that are not political. So we have a non-political show. We're going to talk about dating again, which was everybody's favorite subject. So I'm going to bring in our guests.
Have a fantastic show.
Thanks. I'll see you soon, man. And please,
you
God,
sure will.
Do well.
Yes.
Let's get our guests in here now and get our show on the road. We have once again our good friend Layla Book, and joining us for the first time, my good friend in New York, Lara, who is a real estate entrepreneur, mogul, socialite, wizard on the West Side. So welcome to our show, Laura.
Thank you for having me.
So
Hi, everyone.
last time we had Layla here with actually a rabbi, and it wasn't our most viewed show. Some of our shows right now are going super, super viral, which is really exciting. But it was our most talked about show. And we had like people were sending in like essay responses in the comments. It was really kind of a cool thing to see. So Layla Book, a matchmaker in Los Angeles to the stars. What is your website again? Tell us.
LaylaFindsLove.com.
LaylaFindsLove.com. So I think last week, Lara and I were talking before the show, and she asked me if there's any like polemic that we can talk about. And not only did she educate me on what a polemic was, but we had a polemic last week where we spoke about women pursuing men and how to make dating more equal. And this is the number one comment. I was getting letters from women around the world saying, well, if you want a woman who pursues a man, would you want to go on a date with me? Blah, blah, blah. And it was like one after one after one. I don't know. Did you see that episode, Lara?
No. And I will never do that.
So okay, good. So we got somebody who has a little bit of difference. So yeah, Layla and I were talking about it, and Layla told me, basically I said like this: there's two women. There's women who want to be pursued and women who want to be in a relationship. And when a woman wants to be in a relationship, she will go find like sonar radar, him, and she will close. And so I said this on the show, and Layla, who's a matchmaker and is a professional, all she does is gets people married. She actually told me that she went after her husband. So I want to go deeper into this story, and I want to pivot to you, Layla, and I want you to tell us and remind our audience about the story about how you met your husband.
Sure. So as a single, I was going around, and there was a Shabbat dinner for Jewish singles. He was across the table. And then afterwards, there was like an oneg thing. So I was, we were schmoozing or whatever, and then he left without me, without, Shabbat, I keep Shabbat, so we didn't able to exchange numbers or anything, but he didn't even mention anything like nice meeting you or whatever. No hard feelings, of course. But I think he was the type that, he wasn't able, he didn't want to pursue, or maybe he was a little maybe unsure about it, possibly. I'll cut him some slack. And at the end of, after Shabbat, whatever, I emailed our host who had us, and I said, hey, can I have his, we exchanged, can I have his contact info? I was, I'm interested in him. Wanted to know about him, I even forgot his name, whatever, sorry. And then after that, we started a conversation via email, and then we moved it on to, phone and what have you. And we set up a time to meet for coffee, and that's the rest is history. So yeah, I mean, I didn't wait for him. I didn't wait for, hoping like, is he gonna, ever gonna contact me or whatever? Why waste time? What do you have to do, is we were talking about that last time. So I went for it, and here I am, married happily.
Kids?
With kids and a dog.
And a dog too. She was talking about her dog in the backstage.
Yeah.
Lara, you have a dog, Lara?
I have a dog, yeah.
So
I just rescued a 10-year-old dog. So
what kind of dog is it?
A Yorkie.
Oh, they're the best. My parents have 2 Yorkies.
Yeah, they're cute.
So Lara, what do you think about that story? How does that fit into your whole scope? I know you've been married before, you have, your own family. Like how does that hit you?
I think that's very brave, and I think that's amazing and beautiful that worked out, but I don't think I think I'm very confident, but yet I'm very conservative. Like if the man wants, he will call. If the man, I don't know, it's kind of tricky because not everyone has the confidence to approach someone and ask for a number or start a conversation. But still, I'm very conservative. There was like one time I was in Dubai. I just got out of the flight and I want to eat something. Everything was closed. All the restaurants were closed. And then there was a guy and he looked at me and he said, do you need any help? And I said, yeah, I want to eat this and this. And he said, and he ordered from me. And then he said, well, do you want to drink? And then he went there, he grabbed everything from me, like coconut water, orange juice. And then he got everything I wanted and chocolate, everything. And then he paid for it. And then he gave it to me. And I was looking at him and like, he was like super handsome. And I was looking at him and I, thank you so much. And he was like, sure, enjoy. And that was it. And I didn't ask for his number and I would totally date him. He was so sweet. He was so nice to me. But he didn't ask for my number. And I'm like, I don't know. I thought that would be weird.
It's not weird. Sorry, that's a missed opportunity that you could have had. You know,
I know. I still remember.
So he's giving you hints that, you know, he likes you, he's buying stuff for you, he's a complete stranger. But if you had that like inclination, you have that something inside, like, oh, he could be totally for me. Why not? Like say, hey, you know, like this great meeting you. Will I see you again? Something like that. I don't know, just to see if there is any potential there. But
so I will say, as a man, in the end of the day, I still want to feel like a man. You know what I'm saying? So like, I would love if in that situation where I was that man in Dubai, you know, Prince Mohammed Allah Jabari Al Tawil, or whoever it was that came and just like, free food for pretty girls, you know, like, but if I was that guy, I would have loved it if you said, so when are you going to take me out? So are you going to ask me for my number? You know, like you close the deal, but then he's like, okay, well, can I have your number? You know what I'm saying? So as a man, I still love that. Like, how does a woman actually get across that hurdle? Is just like, call him out. Like, are you going to be the man and ask me out? Like, let him know that you've already said yes, and all he has to do is ask. And I think that's the best as a man, because and honestly, like, one of the things on the last show, people were calling me, they're like, oh, so you want a woman to take you on a date too? Well, maybe like on my birthday, that would be nice. I have been in relationships on my birthday where I end up having to take the woman out on my birthday and pay on my birthday. So I stopped. Like, if I'm dating someone I'm not serious about on my birthday, I'm like, sorry, I need like 3 or 4 weeks to get through my birthday before, like, because I don't want her to like buy, you know, force me to do that. But I want to pay for a girl on a date. I want to go out. I want to plan a date. I want to be like, I want to do all those things and show off like the peacock, and like show all my beautiful feathers. You know, I want to do that. But I want the woman also, I want to feel pursued. And that is basically the woman saying, I'm completely open for you. When are you going to ask me for my number?
Right. About the birthday, avoiding her, like, it depends on the, you know, where are you in the dating? Like, is it like pretty much you just met her, or are we already like, you know,
yeah, if I just
3,
met
4
her,
months
you know
into
what I'm
it?
saying? If
I
I
think
just met her.
that matters as well.
But I'll tell you, at the place that I'm at now, and ladies, write this down. At the place that I'm at now, at 39 years old, if I take you out and it's my birthday and we're going out and I end up paying, this face is going to look like this the whole time. You are not going to see this turn into a frown. You're not going to see emotion, but I am not calling you back. So just remember that. You take your man out on his birthday. And that's why men and women get paid equally in the workplace.
I have another funny story.
Tell us.
I went to Indiana 3 weeks ago. So I met a guy on a dating app and we had a lot in common. Probably he's going to see this because we're friends now. And I have very little time in Indiana because I was so busy. And we had a lot in common. Like we do the same, exactly same business. And so he helped me out a lot. And I'm very thankful for that. But he wanted to take me out for a coffee. And then I said, I don't go out for a coffee. You want to take me for dinner? We can go, but I'm not going out for a coffee. And then he said, you know what? I'm gonna pass.
Oh.
And then it was like, wow, I think the first guy that, 'cause usually they send cars, they take me for dinner, and this guy said, I'm gonna pass. And I was like, well, I'm so sorry if I offended you, if I came like rude, but I don't go for a coffee myself, so why would I go for a coffee? And I had very little time. I had time to have lunch, dinner, and I would have to fit him in this time. But anyway, he said, no, I'll pass. And we're still friends, and he's a very smart guy, and he helps me a lot, but he didn't want to take me for dinner.
So as a matchmaker, I set up like the first date for my clients, and I asked the ladies like, what are you comfortable with? Like coffee, dinner. So and that gives me hints. But like, I think this man was probably you were telling him like, I'm more comfortable with the dinner, and then to brush you off, that's really odd. Like maybe he was thinking like, oh, she's really high maintenance. She wants something fancy, whatever. I can't afford her. Maybe that was the case, but to say like to know already, that's like, I think like it's a red flag. He's already disagreeing with you with that just the first your recommendation that you're giving him. So that probably was
yeah, definitely.
better off than you wouldn't. But it's good that you're still friends. No offense.
Yeah, maybe he'll see
No,
this.
he's amazing. He's amazing. He's a very nice, and he's
So like,
helping me
is this
so
somebody?
much.
Is this somebody that you would normally be interested in?
If he's not taking me on a date for dinner, no. I mean, for me, I think I need a man that is going to treat me the way I treat myself, the same level that I treat myself. So I don't go out for coffee myself, not even with my girlfriends. We don't actually go for coffee. We go.
Where do you go in New York? What do you think is the best dating spot in New York?
There's
Like,
so many nice
give us top
restaurants.
3 spots. Top 3 spots that you think are just like, so like you whisked away, you're gone. The ambiance.
There's a lot of places by the water that is beautiful. The piers, the restaurant by the water. I think that's my favorite spot. Name 3 places.
3 places.
I don't know if I can. Restaurants. I don't know. I think a date doesn't have to be a dinner, but
okay, I'll name 3 for you in New York. I'll name 1 for you in New York, and then you can name 1 in New York. I'll name 2. I would say Mocha Burger, and I think that's like Chelsea area. Damn, those are like the best burgers on the world. Not the world, but those are like really good burgers. Okay. And they're like bougie burgers.
Kosher?
Like, yeah, it's a kosher place. The place is like super bougie, but they're like really good burgers too. Like you get your food there and you're like, wow, this is something else. Okay, what other places? Name 1 place. Let's get 1 place. I got another one. The rooftop bar of the Gansevoort Hotel. Boom. Oh my God. Done. On that rooftop overlooking the city like that, 1 conversation and you could be having children with that person.
Sounds like a nice spot.
All right.
I'll note. Thank you for the tips. I'll note it for my clients.
Those are 2 from a Los Angeles local who lives out in the countryside. I am balling. That is good.
Good work.
I know. Where do you recommend people go in New York, Layla? Do you have any New York spots?
Oh, New York. I'm actually not so familiar with New York. I'm based in Los Angeles, but a lot of people like. I think water is very calming and inviting. You can walk around. You don't have to be in such a stagnant place. Just sitting there. It's like an interview. But things that like you can walk around in. It's comfort. It's comfortable, relaxing. Mm-hmm. So I think anything in New York, you can't go wrong. But I can't really name specifics. I wouldn't. I butcher it.
Okay, I got a third for you guys, and that'll tap me out on New York. On the opposite side of Manhattan, by the Arts District, you know where the Arts District is? On the opposite side, on the Brooklyn Heights side, it's like Old Town Brooklyn Heights, and there's a park over there that is like so stunning. and you take the park, they have these gardens. They like built these barges out on the water, and they built these barges out there, and you can
Oh,
go out
yeah.
there and you can see the whole skyline from the governor's mansion to the Statue of Liberty. I'm seeing it in my third eye right now, to like all of lower Manhattan. You're like staring out at the arts district. Then you look out to your right and there's the Brooklyn Bridge. Just like picturesque Americana, like so romantic.
Heard about that. Yeah. It's like the man-made island.
Yeah. Bring a picnic. That's a great date. Bring a picnic to that spot during a warm day.
That's a good date. Yes, yes, definitely.
All right, so let's get on these subjects. Laura, I want to break this down. What do you think is the number one thing inhibiting people from getting into relationships? From taking it from dating to being in a relationship, exclusive and proud to be exclusive with each other no matter who sees?
That's easy. I think there's so many options today. It's so many options. You just go online and then you can get a date every day. And I think that's pretty much it. Everything's too available. So why people want to be in a relationship when they can be free and date how many girls they want? I think it's like social media, everyone being like, I remember when I went to school, if I want someone's contacts, like phone number, you would have to go and ask them, and then you have to call when the mom was not at home. It was so hard. It was so hard. Now it's so easy. You think someone at school is cute, and then you just, you have social media, you have everything. You can go to the DM. It's everything's so easy. So
you think it's really like beta males who just can't step up and ask a woman out?
I think it's because there's too many options.
You think it's too many? You think it's too many options and men can't commit, or too many options and women can't commit, or too many options and both men and women don't want to commit?
Both. And then you find someone nice, and then you think, oh, but is she really nice? Is he really nice? There's so many people around. So should I stick with her or him? I think that's pretty much it, the main reason. Mm-hmm. And the girls want be just like as men, so they're not like they used to be, more like shy and
feminine. You mean feminine?
Yeah, and they don't care. Like back in the day, the girls they wouldn't sleep with a guy in the first date. Now they don't care. They just go.
They don't care.
They do it.
I know, it's true.
So they say more you have like more sexual partners you have, less you can commit to a person, something like that.
Makes a lot of sense.
That's a real study. So I think that's pretty much what's going on. Too many options, less intimacy, and everyone is just too free.
Too free, yeah. I call it a distraction. It's so distracting. You keep going on these dating apps, keep thinking, oh, maybe the next person is even better than this one. Yeah. So it's you can't really commit. The dating, I can't say the dating apps are completely like, don't go on them, but I think it's meant for you to keep going back and keep thinking, just like social media. You keep want to check. You keep
it's like a total psyop. It's like the government secret CIA protocol to control us or something like that. It's totally messed up. You check them all the time. You're in like 20 conversations at once, getting intimate with 20 different people at once. It's like,
how are you going to decide? How are you going to decide?
It's like a mental orgy. It's like everybody's with everybody at the same time.
Right. You're comparing one person to the other. This person is like this, the other person.
And they're as there a matchmaker, in that exact moment. Like you could be sitting here talking to one person and they say one thing you don't like, and you're back flirting with the next person, and it's completely different, like within a train switching tracks. It's done,
Right. Yeah. Everyone's brain is like going all over the place, and you can't focus on the one person. Yeah. Like as a matchmaker, I introduce one person at a time to all my clients because I don't want to distract them. Yeah. The complete thing is like, if you're going on multiple dates with different people, or even just messaging, you're never going to get anywhere. It's not an effective way to get to know somebody, because your brain can't focus on so many different things at once.
Yeah. My advice is, if you meet somebody on an app, say as few words as possible to get off of the app, which means that the words you choose have to be very convincing on both sides, men and women. That means that you can't just message somebody and say, hey, how's it going? That doesn't work. Like, really, if you match with somebody that you want to meet, look their profile up and down, look for where they're leaving a door to where you could make a comment to, and make your comment, walk through the door, you know, but say something that is going to be to the point and be constantly moving towards getting off of the app.
Excellent
And I have
point.
had great success on the apps. I really have had great success on the apps. I mean, basically in the fact that I've met everybody on the apps. You know, I match with like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on these apps, you know, and it's like, but no wife because of what Lara says. There's so many options, hundreds and
Right.
hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and when you're like, let's say you're in a conversation on the dating app, you can always say, well, this sounds great. Why can't, how about we take this offline? It can be a woman to say that too, Adam. They say like, okay, you're in a conversation, the woman or the man can say, this is great. Let's take this online. Are you available on Sunday for drinks or something like that? Why, just ask them out. I mean, that's the main key, is just like, take it offline as soon as you can, because then you're building fantasies of this imaginary, basically it's imaginary person, like a pen pal, until you actually meet them. So
yeah, just
I usually don't give my phone to people that I don't know in person. I have this rule. I
so
don't.
pivot to Instagram, you know, pivot to Instagram or one of the, you know, the Hinge actually has a phone app. Sometimes I force girls to use the phone app. I'm like, how about they, you know, they're like, you want to get off? You want to like, and I'm like, how about you just call me in the app, you know, and I just have a conversation, but boom, you meet somebody and then you could decide right there, you know, it's like, but you got to get off of texting. Meeting people in a text message fashion is abnormal. It's the antithesis of nature. It is intended to destroy us. It's a blessing that we can receive people into our lives this way, through this like kind of pathetic thing that, like, you know, we used to have, you know, real men and women go up to each other in public and meet organically, you know, like God caused two people to meet on a corner crossing the street and they sparked a conversation. Today you spark a conversation with somebody at a street corner, they think you're crazy, you know. It's like, don't talk to me even if they look as good as I do, you know. It's like
absolutely, yeah, no, you take it offline as soon as you can. Maybe even if you're a little unsure who that person is, create like maybe a quick Zoom 10 minutes to see if actually that person looks, you know, a little similar to what they're trying to
catfish. Have you ever gotten catfished? Layla, when you were single, did you ever get catfished?
I'm kind of like past that point. I was on dating apps, but it wasn't like that useful. I mean, they had saw you at Sinai. I would think I was on JDate. What else was I on? I didn't really use online dating that much. I was more old-fashioned, but no, thankfully I was not catfished.
What about you, Laura? Have you ever been catfished?
No, I think I'm very careful with the people. I don't have much time, so I got to be very careful with people that I meet, and I don't care about looks much. That's the least of my. I think what attracts me is more like the conversation. So if the person doesn't look like what, it's not good, but because, you know, I want the person to be real, honest, but if they don't look good as the pictures, I don't mind that. I think there's much more than that.
So that's a great pivot to, that's a great pivot to a subject I wanted to take you to. So, and I'll start with you, Lara, because you just brought it up. What causes you attraction?
Definitely someone smart. Yeah, gotta be smart. I can't with.
It's intelligence. What comes in second place to intelligence, and how far away is it from intelligence in the scale? I
think for me, the values, like more conservative, family, a good heart. I think that's pretty much. I don't care about looks. I care about the person eating healthy, because I eat healthy.
So is eating healthy number 3?
Not eating healthy. I think it's like a healthy lifestyle.
Or does that go with values? Or is that independent?
Yeah. No, I
We
think
can
it's
make it
different than-
independent. Okay, top
Yeah.
3 issues: intelligence, values, healthy
Mhm.
live,
And
healthy
Lifestyle.
person,
lifestyle.
healthy
Yeah.
person. Let's try to get to a top 5.
Top
And looks can
5.
be number 5, so all we need is one more. Because-
I think gotta be someone motivated to always have
Okay,
a
number
better
4
life.
is motivated. What is number
Yeah.
5? Number 5 doesn't have to be looks.
No, it's never looks. Honesty.
Honesty. Wow.
Yeah.
What wisdom. Thank you for that top 5 list. Let's go
That's
over
great.
that for all of our listeners one more time. Laura's top 5 list of attraction: intelligence, values, health, motivation, honesty. That's a high 5.
No
Yeah,
looks.
it's
Looks didn't
interesting that
even make the
you
looks
don't
didn't
say
even make the top
looks.
5 list. Maybe it's on the top 10 list, but this is only the top 5 list.
Top
We're
5.
not, we don't have time for the top 10 list today.
Because attraction, a lot of everybody's attraction. So I'm surprised that Lara, you're mentioning that that's not a top 5 at least. So that's good.
Yeah, it's not that good because
Open-minded.
You want to know
people think
something?
that
It isn't for me either. I actually was dating somebody. This is so offensive. I'm going to tell you guys such an offensive thing. So I was dating, like, I don't know, in the game of many options, I was dating like several people at once. And I was on the tail end of this one girl who was just like getting the boot. Like I just couldn't, like she was just really a headache. And I sparked something at a party with somebody who was like, I don't know. I don't want to like say this and have them see this video and anybody take offense to it or something like that.
No names are mentioned.
No names. So I'll try to conceal the story as much as possible. So I was dating somebody, it was coming to the tail end. I saw somebody else. I wanted to talk to her. She was attraction wasn't the main motivator. Actually, the thing that got us talking in the beginning was that she said she was unvaccinated and she was so proud of it. And I'm like, yeah, me too. You know, like, and it was like, it like pulled me in. And then we started having like this conversation. She turned out to be one of the coolest people I've met in a long time. And someone came up to me and like, because I was at a party with this girl, and then I went to another party with this girl, and someone came up to a party. They're like, "Are you dating this person?" I was like, I don't know. Like I never spoke to it with the girl. Like we never were like, we were hanging out. And this guy looks at me and he says, be careful because you're way out of her league.
Oh.
And I'm like, dude, you're like triple vaxxed, fool. Like what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, how would you say such a rude thing to somebody?
That's rude. That's
so
bad.
rude.
How would he know? How would he know? He's just jealous.
I don't know. But I wanted to say this story over because it is like the offense that I took to that comment is proof that for men too, physical attraction is not the number one issue. I think for me, I think a woman's ability to commit and navigate out of the sea of options and focus exclusively on me and really show me that it's only me and there are no other options, that to me is very attractive.
I forgot one.
But you only got 5. There was only 5 on your list. What's number 6? Lara, what's number 6?
I want to switch.
Oh, okay. Please don't take honesty off of there.
Take honesty. No, I'm kidding. I think it's very important the way the guy treats me too. You know, like the guy that didn't take me
but
for
that
dinner.
goes into values. That's number 2. That's like values.
No, not really.
Let me ask you a question. What if a guy treated you with a lot of respect, but he went out to a restaurant and like was such a rude guy to the waiter? No, get me my food. What are you talking about? I didn't order it like this.
Red flag.
But he was like, that's what I'm saying. It's values. It's not how he treats you. It's how he treats everybody.
I was saying like in another way, but
okay. Well, that could be number 6 then, because honesty is very important. And I
5.5.
also think motivation is important. I was very impressed that you put motivation on number 4 above honesty. Because I know you also, you're a real go-getter. Listen, the top 5 list doesn't have to be for everybody, but people can look at your top 5 list and become very inspired by it. That was a good top 5 list.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be a meme.
Could it be?
It could
I'll
easily be
share
a
it.
meme. You should. Lara's
I'm in a lot of dating groups, and I see all the girls saying they care about the way the person looks and how is the connection when they go out. And I look at that like, I really don't care. Like sometimes I talk with people, they don't even have the picture
Profile.
on the profile. They don't have the picture, and I'm fine with that. I don't mind, because it's the least of my I don't want to comment about my exes, because
No.
like
But
Adam said, I don't want to be rude, but like
But they know who they are. They know who they are, you ugly men. No, I'm just
No,
joking.
all of them.
That was a joke. I was joking.
They're gonna come after you.
We gotta have some comedy in the show. You know, it's got to be funny.
But I'm happy to hear that, Lara, you consider these people without even asking, like, hey, a picture or whatever, because as a matchmaker, you don't even know, like, I have to go hoops and through to get updated photographs. I even do Zooms with potential matches to see if they actually look like who they are actually send. So this gives me hope that people are not just into looks, even though it's important. It's not just everything. It's the whole package.
I think it's pretty much because people judge me a lot the way that I look. And so I think I don't want anyone to be with me just because the way I look. I thought about, making like fake profiles, but like the opposite way that people do.
Then you'd be the catfish.
I would catfish the other way. But so I want people to like me. Oh, she's smart. She's a good mom. She works hard, and that's what I want people to see, not the way I look at all. So that's why I always try to put like the inside, how the person is inside, than how the way that they look.
Well, I think that attraction is a very important thing, and physical attraction is not always everything. And people who are seeking physical attraction, I think it's very easy to find. My mother grew up teaching me one valuable lesson. Everyone is replaceable. It's true. And when you chase looks, that's like the easiest replaceable thing. There's always someone prettier. There's no such thing as someone who's the most beautiful. There's no such thing as anything like that. There's no hierarchy or ranking structure. There is a lot of very, very beautiful people. So if you chase beauty, you're never going to be satisfied, because there's always new beauty coming about. Someone might lose 50 pounds and then they release that inner person that nobody ever saw before, that is like the most smoking hot person in the world. I've seen that before too.
Looks change too.
Looks change. Yeah, looks change, So, that's a very mic drop moment. Thank you for that one, Lara. All right, so we've covered dating locations in New York City. We covered top 5 attraction. We've covered the biggest obstacles that keep people out of relationships. Let's focus on relationships. Once you're in a relationship, out of all of our experiences, and we'll start with Layla because she is currently married. Once you're in, and please God, let her stay married. But once you're in a relationship, Layla, what is some good things that both men and women can do for each other, little things and big things, to keep the relationship alive and to keep it so that you don't have desires to go back to the sea of a million options?
Right. I think we all discussed this in our last episode, if you want to call it, but appreciation is very important.
appreciate
to know that they're valued, to know, to respect each other, to listen to each other, and to listen to each other's feelings, and if something bothers them, and then they communicate that to each other, to say like, okay, you know, this is I rather, you know, we switch it around, and that person has to you have to listen, like as a wife, you know, if my husband is, you know, not too crazy about something that was done, he tells me that, I'm gonna have to listen to, okay, noted, and I will, you know, we'll change the way we're doing things. So it's important to communication, communication, appreciation, being, you know, being there for each other is important. You know, and always knowing that, you know, you're important, that, you know, my other half is important to, otherwise we wouldn't be a, you know, together, obviously. So I think those are some things that people should value and know.
Don't ask me because I don't even remember what it is to be in a relationship.
How long
I'll
has
skip
it been?
that.
How long has it been since you've been in a committed relationship?
I would say, because my ex-husband and I, we separated, but we were still living in the same house because of the kids. We were too young. I think it's over like 4 years. I don't know what it is
Wow.
to be with someone, being taken care, being
To
like,
be truly with somebody.
yeah, being happy, you know. Sad song.
Oh,
I know
you
my
know,
heart
every day is a
breaking.
learning process. Every day, you know, every day you learn something new, and you learn something new about yourself. You learn something about, you know, your other half, and you, or it doesn't even have to be, you don't have to be married. It's just like whoever you're dating. You learn about each other, and you pick things that, okay, well, that kind of ticked him off, or that kind of like, you know, provoke something or whatever, and you learn. And if you don't learn, then obviously you're not gonna build a committed relationship. So everything, like you're going on a date and you see something that, I don't think he didn't pick it up. He picked it up the wrong way. Take that into consideration, everything. So you don't provoke anything, and you're not only are you learning about him or her, whoever you're dating, but you're also learning about yourself and how you can build and be better, be a better person. So
That's very deep. Those very, very deep concepts. I also think communication is key, and people need to learn how to talk to each other.
oh yeah.
I think that's a major component I think a lot of people fail at. I actually, I think it was the first time I started dating a girl, and her longest relationship was like, I mean, she was my age. I'm 39. She wasn't my age. She was like a little bit younger than me. But her longest relationship was like 9 months. And I was like, wow. It was like really, that was like, it was the first time where like I really registered that as kind of like a red flag. Like, I mean, like, and I feel bad for the girl, but I didn't want to strike it on her. So I continued to talk to her, and I told her like how it makes me feel right away. I said, look, this is a, you know, as somebody who, you know, feels that relationships are acquired skills, you know, because it takes work on yourself to be able to understand and make space for another person. And I should say that making space for that person and their needs really comes as a step, a precursor to communication, because you first have to desire, in order to fix everything that goes wrong in a relationship, you first have to desire to prioritize their need or their apparent a lack, their need, whatever that you're a person's doing to the other person that is not, you know, working out for them. And so once you have that desire to put that person first, and that's like, I don't know, like I remember my first shot of whiskey. Man, that was disgusting. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, oh, Bunnahabend 26, it is so delicious. You know, like I think I know, like it's good now or something like that. You know, that's so lame. compared to like when I first started, it was like revolting, you know, like, so that's kind of like an analogy to like some of the work that involves relationships is like, you really have to have those dark nights of the soul and look at yourself and see that, you know, that you don't make space for another person, that you're all self-centered and all, you know, selfish. And if you want another person, you have to first desire that if they have a need that you're, I don't know, if you're stepping on their toes, that you don't want to step on their toes, you know? So you have to give space to like allowing communication to exist where they could come to you and say, hey, you know, when you do X, Y, and Z, it really makes me feel like this. And I have a really hard time with it.
Yeah.
And the answer, whether male or female, because you know, I've been in relationships where women gave me this answer too, where they were like, you know, that's just your feelings, you know, that's just you, that's just you. There was a meme that I wish I put on the meme roll for this show because it was so good. It was basically describing narcissistic behavior as like blaming the person for having the issue with you to begin with, you know, like, oh, I did put it on this show, but it's kind of like offensive to women because it specifies that women are being narcissists. I'm not gonna
Oh,
play that.
thanks.
You guys want to see it? Should I just show it?
Show it.
I will.
We want trouble.
We want trouble, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I didn't put it on this episode, but it is for sure in my folder. Let me go grab it and we'll cause some trouble.
I have a question, Adam. What going back to that 9 months relationship, that really just like what was
I
wrong
can't.
with that? What was wrong with her having only 9 months relationship? Like what if she like she knew that
It
it
wasn't
was
like
not the
really
right
9
time for
months.
her?
It was like 6 months and then 3 months on and off. So it was even
Okay,
worse
6 months.
than 9
I mean,
months.
what's wrong with that? Is that like you think that's a red flag? Because like
Yeah, I think that it is a red flag. It's not a red flag in the sense that like it means that we're done, done, done. It means that like you got to step up and show me that that didn't affect you.
Do you think it's
what's
a
wrong?
red flag? Sorry.
What's that, Laura?
Do you think it's a red flag when people think that I've been single for too long? Do you think people see that as a red flag? Be honest.
A little bit. Not a I would say that both of these flags about not having long relationships and not being in a relationship for a while are yellow flags. And not being in a relationship for a while is less than a yellow flag. One of it, not having long relationships is an orange flag,
Orange flag.
and not being in a relationship for a long time is a yellow flag.
I agree.
You know, it's
Definitely
worse
means
it's worse to not know how to commit to somebody.
But it all depends on like, okay, are we on the fast track or are we like on the slow track? We want to take things slow. Or maybe she was like more of like okay, if I know it's not right for me, I'm not gonna pursue it kind of a person. Or maybe she was just like, okay, I know it's done, it's a done deal. Or maybe like from relationships, you can go backwards
Well,
and
I'll
learn
tell
from
you,
them.
it's like I just, when somebody is older and they don't have long-term relationships, I mean like in their 30s, like I think that there is really something to it. I learned so much from having multi-year relationships.
I think that's pretty much what I think about when the man it's over 40 and he was never married. I think it's
I
like,
know,
why?
who's gonna help me out on this one? I'm 39. I mean, I've
I
never been there.
know.
Who, Laura, are you
You're
gonna
on
help
the
me out
limit.
here? This is getting ridiculous. That's like tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Time seeking. No,
But the truth
the
is
question I get.
a man doesn't ever like expire the way like that. So it's like
Oh,
40 is one thing, but like it is true. Like it is, there is something to that though. But to the, you know, I have a lot of really good friends who are single and all either over 40 or approaching 40. And I'll say for all of them who've never been married, some of them, they got issues. I'll be honest.
yeah,
I'm
you
not
wouldn't
gonna,
know
I'm not gonna
the
lie, but other of them are really good men. And like, I don't know, I think like there's a lot of scarcity. There's a lot of like, they've had relationships, you know, like I practically have been married. I mean, I've lived with a woman for many years, you know, like I just didn't, I didn't get married. We didn't get married. So like, But there is like that thing, a man over 40 who hasn't been married. But I'd bump it up. Let's bump it up for the modern age to 45, so I feel a little bit better about that
Bump
one.
it
How
up.
about that,
Yeah,
Lara?
I mean, the most popular question I get as a matchmaker, when people ask me like about my clients, like, why are they single? How am I? That's like $1 million question to ask. Like, why are you single yourself? Like, they ask me like, why are they single?
I'll tell
I'm
you
like,
why we're single. We're all mental. We are messed up. We're
how am I
all
supposed to
screwed
answer
up.
a question like?
We've been destroyed more than once. We've had the
People ask me that, and I'm like, how would I know, first of all? Maybe if a lot of things go, I mean, like, okay, I understand, as I understand my clients, okay, the situation, like one person had to take care of his parents, they were elderly, he just lost track of time, or I mean, I have another, he's 42, never married. How would I know what goes on in people's lives? First of all, I'm not God. I don't control, who's gonna like why is he or she is not married. So that's like it's $1 million question, and like I try to explain it to them like why, but I really can't. It's like, why are you single yourself? I can flip the question around to to the person asking. So I get a kick out of that question already asked.
I appreciate you for defending us like that, Layla. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was very insecure for a moment there.
No,
Sorry.
No, I'm just teasing you. I don't get bugged.
Maybe that's why I'm single. See?
But I want to touch on why it is an issue if a woman hasn't had a relationship, or a man, not just a woman, a man or a woman, especially a man, but even more so a woman, because I really believe that sometimes what keeps a relationship is the woman, like she's desiring to be in a relationship, even a moderately, okay, this is how it works. Even a less attractive woman can become more attractive if she's extremely committed. But even an unattractive woman can go out into the world and with one flick of the on switch of her dating profile can have options lining up to meet her. So that being said, like a lot of it has to do with the commitment of a woman. If a woman hasn't been in a relationship, it's because in her 30s, you mean to tell me you haven't met one worthy guy? Does that mean that I got to jump through hoops of fire to get you? And then on top of that, I mean, there's more than one flag that it raises. It's like there's that one, and then there's the other one. Like maybe you don't know how. Maybe you don't really desire it, and the only reason you're desiring it is because you feel like you're getting older and it's freaking you out. That's a real thing too. And a lot of people, not women or men, but people, have emotional distress that they aren't willing to process, and they have the desire to commit because of expectation, but they themselves are non-committal people. They don't want to commit to somebody. They don't want to open themselves up. They don't want to have their heart open. And that's the yellow flag of not having relationships for multiple years. Like I haven't had a real serious relationship in almost 3 years. Well, 2.5 years. But I have had multiple relationship startups where we get like a few months where we're like really like, so, I feel like at least I'm out there trying to find a relationship. The yellow flag of the person who hasn't had a relationship or a startup in 4 years is maybe they're very scarred from a previous relationship.
Trauma. Yeah.
A lot of trauma. And that's a hard nut to crack because a man wants to come in not having, and a man and a woman both want to come in not having to be the therapist, or to be. But I think at a specific point in our life, we all have to just expect that people are coming into our lives to heal us. And that's one of the things I love about like the whole new age heal everything. We're healers. Like I love that about it is because they do get that part right. It's like at some point, like we all have to come in and just like accept that the people that we bring into our lives are here to heal us on a friendship level, and more importantly, on an emotional, intimate level with our intimate partners. That
right.
We have
Everyone is brought. Sorry.
Yeah.
everyone is brought into our lives for a reason. So you always have to think back, okay, why are we here? Why is there is a reason why we're talking to each other. There is a reason. So whether it may be like we're actually gonna get married, or whether it may be like we're gonna help each other do something, learn about each other and be better. But everybody, there's always a reason
There's also that like
really
ancestral trauma stuff too that gets brought up in a relationship.
I heard about that.
Like,
Yeah, it comes back to life.
maybe
People
something
carry it.
happened or caused the father to be overly zealous on the children, and it, the mother, or whatever it is, or maybe the parents didn't show love, and there's all these traumas that always get resolved through relationships. You're shaking your head, Lara. Why are you shaking your head on that one?
I don't know. I think everyone has issues. You cannot blame your parents, your situation, the way you grew up
No, I'm not saying to blame them, but it does become our responsibility to still heal from them if we weren't raised properly. We still have to be able to get over listen, a person who grew up in a house where the parents beat the children, there's a propensity for the children to beat their partners, to beat their children. But the one who breaks that trend, it's still their responsibility to break that trend, and to live non-violently, let's just say.
Yeah.
Well, that's where a therapist, a mentor, a rabbi, priest, whatever you need, comes into place. And a dating coach, matchmaker, somebody like you need somebody as a guide, because a lot of people go on things on their own and without a guide, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
And I'm not trying to shoot down. I do believe that everybody comes with, I think what you said, Lara, was best. Everybody does come with problems. That's what you have to realize.
Yeah.
And they
We're
are
not perfect.
And they are responsible for their own problems. I think that's what you were trying to get at.
I met he was way too young for me, but he grew up in a $18 million mansion on Long Island. Mom and dad married, very Christian, very, the perfect Long Island family. And he had issues because his mother had issues because the grandmother, and now he has issues because of the mother, the way the grandmother. And he told me the story, and such a handsome man, so handsome, so like with the best life in front of him. And he was like seeing a therapist 2 times a week and trying to get rid of this. And I looked at him and I said, why? Don't blame your parents and the way they were raised, and don't carry that, just move on. And I mean, it's everyone can say, oh, because I grew up like this, but there's really no issue. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, I got to face my issues myself and don't blame anyone else, and fix it, not carry this on for like eternity.
Right. It's a work in progress. It's much easier said than done. But baby steps.
You have to not be able to carry it on for eternity. You're absolutely right. Yeah. It's something that you should, and if you're single out there, you should strive to fix your issues as much as possible before you get into a relationship. And also, you should not allow your inability to fix your issues prohibit you from getting into a relationship if the right one does come around. And for people who are getting into a relationship, it helps to understand that we all have issues and that we will have to make space for other people's issues, no matter what we think. Nobody here is perfect, and the older we get, the more issues we seem to get also. So we have to make space, and I would say that with that approach to a relationship, that a renewed desire for commitment every single day when you wake up will keep someone married for the rest of their life. To get back to that original question we asked Layla, what keeps people in a marriage or in a relationship? So these are really great points. I feel like we really went around the horn, and I feel anybody who watches this video is going to have a world of thinking to do. What do you guys think about that?
That's a lot of deep stuff. Yeah, we covered a lot.
What do you think about today's episode, Laura?
I loved it. Thank you so much for having me. And it's good to be able to vent, and then I can hear the things that I was saying, and then I can try to fix my points of view too. So I think it was very
you learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself.
yeah.
To tell you
That's
the
great.
truth, we have at the Adam King Show some super, super exciting guests lined up. But I think that my favorite episode are these episodes because they're like really personal. And also when the people who see these type of episodes love these episodes. Like the viewership on these type of talk shows is through the roof, judging by the last response. So I want to put it out there to anybody who watched this show and was deeply touched, wants to say anything, leave a comment on any one of our platforms. As I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the show, we have begun getting censored on YouTube. So we're only going to be posting videos like these and promo videos to YouTube from now on. So this video will be on YouTube. It will be on Rumble. And for our many listeners on the InfoWars, it will be on Band.video with Alex Jones. So thank you, everybody, for everything that you've been doing. Please shop at InfoWarsStore.com. Buy something. Keep us on the air. And let's get our lives together. Let's get into healthy, committed relationships. Let's end this world of options by choosing the one for you. I am King. That is Layla Book. And this is my good friend Lara, the real estate entrepreneur in New York City. And we will see you on Monday's show at this exact same time. Take care, everybody, and God bless. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.